Can Tangent get another perfect score with this caboose? Let's take a look. Hi, I'm Dan Cortopassi. Today I'm reviewing an HO scale Rock Island style bay window caboose from Tangent Scale Models. My model is decorated for Union Pacific. The MSRP for this car is $124.95. I paid $114.95 for my model from Lombard Hobbies. We'll start the model at 100 possible points. The car comes in a sturdy cardboard box. Inside is a sheet of paper with prototype information on one side and information on operating the lights on the other. There's a slot in the foam cradle that contains a magnetic wand and some interesting looking detail parts. A plastic cradle protects the model. This is a good box that should protect the model for storage and transport. The information I found for these cars came directly from Tangent's website and Don Strack's excellent UtahRails.net site. In the 1960s and 70s, International Car Company built a total of 130 cabooses for the Chicago, Rock Island, and Pacific. These cars were delivered in 4 different orders with some detail variations between the different batches. UP and Rock Island were planning a merger at the time, and the cars were owned by UP but leased to Rock Island. The merger never actually happened. Rock Island retired 3 of these cars prior to its shutdown in April 1980. The remaining 127 cars were returned to Union Pacific at that time and became UP's CA-13 class. The influx of cars and economic conditions at the time led UP to cancel its orders for what would have been the CA-12 class. Technically, this car, UP24591, is classed as a CA-13-2. It was built in December 1967 as Rock Island 17173. The caboose was renumbered as UP24591 in April 1980 and retired in July 1990. The roster doesn't have any information about the disposition of the caboose after that time. This model would therefore be most appropriate for the 1980 to 1990 time period. I found an undated photo of this exact car online, and the model looks to be a near-perfect match down to the slogan to the right of the bay window. The other side of the car matches photos I found of other UP cabooses in the same class. The paint on the car is opaque and the markings are crisp and free of voids. Small stencils are legible with magnification. There are even car number stencils on the trucks. The car has freestanding grab irons throughout. The window glazing is clear and nearly flush. The bay windows don't appear to be openable. Photo-etched screens for some of the windows are included in the parts bag. On the ends, the car has uncoupling levers, air hoses, and nicely done brake wheels. The steps and end platforms are see-through. The end windows have delicate bars across them. One axle has nicely done generator detail. There are holes near the top of each end ladder representing ladder rungs that were removed when the roof walk was removed. On top, the model has a detailed smokestack and roof walk supports. Underneath, the car has very nicely done brake system detail. The wheels are metal with the standard RP25 tread profile. The end caps on the axles don't rotate. All the wheels pick up current for the rails for the onboard lighting. The car has Kadee scale couplers on both ends. Looking for a match on the horizontal center line, the coupler on the smokestack end is high, so I'm taking 5 points. The coupler on the other end is also slightly high. All the wheels are in gauge according to the NMRA standards gauge. The car wobbles a little, meaning that the body keeps vibrating after the wheels settle onto the track. This can cause an unrealistic shimmy when the car is running, so I'm taking 5 points. The car weighs 4.2 ounces, just a little bit over the 3.5 ounce NMRA recommended weight for a car of this length. The car is free rolling. The caboose had no issues on Kato 550mm curves, which are equivalent to a 21 5/8 inch radius. Instead of a decoder, the lighting on this car is controlled with magnetic switches concealed in the roof. The supplied wand can be used to turn the marker lights and interior light on and off. The car has a capacitor circuit and the lights will remain lit for a few seconds if power is lost. This system has the benefit of working on DC as well as DCC powered track. The instructions say the lights will operate between 5 and 20 volts. I'm testing my car on DCC, which has a constant track voltage. My system's around 12 to 14 volts usually. The marker lights can be cycled by waving the magnetic wand over the roof near the end of the car. Unfortunately, the red marker lights on both ends are very dim to the point where they really can't be seen under bright room lights. The green is much better, and the BN Tangent caboose that I previously reviewed also had a much better red light. I think this is a miss, so I'm taking 5 points. You don't need to actually touch the car with the wand to activate the switches. Close is good enough. The switch for the interior light is near the center of the car. It's hard to show this on video, but it does work. To fix the high couplers, I'll need to lower the car slightly. I'll start by removing one of the trucks. Be careful because caboose trucks often have wires attached. This is why I love Tangent. It's hard to show, but there are a pair of plastic washers between the car body and the trucks on each end of the car. Removing these got the couplers down to where they needed to be without having to do any filing. I was able to fix the body wobble by tightening one of the bolster screws until the truck could pivot but not rock. Only one end should be adjusted this way. The other should be allowed to rock slightly so that the car can negotiate uneven track. The whole process to fix the coupler and wobble issues with this car took less than 5 minutes. So this is another really nice caboose from Tangent. It didn't do quite as well as the BN caboose that I reviewed previously, but it's still pretty good. Thankfully, I like it that Tangent makes their cars easy to fix by putting washers over the truck so that if you need to lower it, it's just a matter of removing the washers, at least a lot of the time, instead of having to dig out the files and do a bunch of work like that. So I really appreciate that. I wish more manufacturers would do that kind of thing because it makes it so nice to, tweak those things, without having to do a bunch of work. So, that's really good. I like the wand idea too. You don't have to have a decoder for this car. You can just, set the markers, when you run it. I think like the other caboose I reviewed, this one doesn't remember the settings. So if you want to set them, you'll have to do it again when you turn your layout on or put the car on a powered track or whatever. But other than that, it's pretty easy. And you don't have to do any programming or anything like that. So that's kind of cool. How much the dimness of the marker light bothers you probably is going to depend on individual taste and also on your layout lighting conditions. Certainly if you were doing night operations, it would show up just fine. I think, running under really bright lights, it doesn't show up so well. So it's kind of, you could probably delve into the car and see if it could be fixed, maybe by replacing the LED or relocating the LED that powers it. I haven't really done that. It's kind of beyond the scope of a rip track, but I may do that eventually. But on the other hand, it's like, well, is it really worth it? I don't know. It's kind of up to the individual to decide, on those things. But still, it's a pretty nice model from Tangent and a pretty interesting car too. I enjoyed learning about the history while I was doing the research for this video. Let's see what we've got. The car had 2 high couplers, it wobbled, and the red marker lights are unacceptably dim, so I took a total of 20 points in the standards and operation category. That leaves us with 80 out of 100 possible points, which earns a B-. This is a highly detailed and accurate model. I'm giving it a green signal. Overall, I think Tangent did a pretty good job on this model. If you're looking for an HO scale Rock Island style caboose for your model railroad, then I think you might like it. If you like this video, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned and thanks for watching.